All right. Check. 1, 2, 3. All right. All right, we're in. Welcome back. Let me get comfortable in this chair. I'm in my room right now. I'm back in Atlanta. I'm back in Georgia. I'm running with this new setup. I got a new camera, brand new camera, and I'm gonna implement it into this production we've got going on, which we call Inside the Mind's Eye, and where we explore the thoughts, ideas, the emotions of people who are pursuing a dream or attempting to realize a dream for themselves, higher calling, higher way of being, actionable action. That's what I'm thinking about right now. I'll tell you, our show right now is in a state of change. You know, I've been talking to people, getting different ideas, trying to come up with like, what is the theme? You know, what are we doing here, right? And you know, I haven't put up a podcast in about a week. So what I want to do with this episode first is I want to check in and share some of the stuff that we've been doing. I got tons of footage from this journey I've been in. This, you know, we're calling it right now Road to Recovery. I'm not sure what the documentary is going to be, but we shot a full-length documentary, and yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to have some music in this show. I thought about having a special guest on named Gerhalt the Ogre. Ran the tape back. Sorry, Pat, not going to happen, dude. Just not going to happen. I mean, It was. I couldn't get through it, if I'm being honest. And by the way, which is another tenet of our show, it's called. The show is also about being honest at Pat. Is also the title of this show, and you know, I'm trying to get as many perspectives as possible to make this the most engaging and the most interactive experience we can have, because I want us to be able to collaborate on this thing. And I talked to my buddy Sam last night, who's helped edit it in the past, and we're coming up with a new approach. You know, he's going to work the camera for me, and we're going to go out, and we got someone coming on the show in the next couple weeks. By the way, this is another issue of mine. I don't like to say what's going to happen because I don't like to set expectations. I don't like to set myself up for disappointment or even set myself up for success at a lesser. I like to just be in the moment and let things happen as they may. It's been, you know, it's a weird thing having to come back to reality. You know, notoriously, I've had my head in the clouds. I've gathered my emotional state and my essence, for lack of a better word, but the energy that I've cultivated has been rooted in my projections of what things could be. And for the longest time, it's taken me out of being present in the moment. So a lot of my inner work I've been doing has been getting out of my head, of letting the thoughts, the ideas, the future projections, the fears, the anxieties, the insecurities, letting these things pass through my mind, bringing them to awareness, and then reassociating with the moment as I live in, you know. And that is, you know, as I'm speaking, it's kind of the other theme of the show, which is the experience of living, you know, inside the mind's eye. You know, we're all in our own worlds all the time. We have these perspectives on who we are, who we think we are, and who we think others are. And I don't know what it is. I feel like some sort of a existential psychologist, in the sense that it could be leaning towards a little bit of nihilism, or like, you know, the one thing I know is me. Like, the only thing I'll truly ever know, or truly ever, and not even, who knows if I'll ever really know who me is, but the only thing I can actually say, pinpoint fact, is like I'm living with myself and my brain and my thoughts. And so it's an endlessly fascinating area for me to explore and understand how I think and how I perceive reality. And the hope of the show is to interact with people and learn how they're doing the same thing. And in essence, to better get out of our own way, you know, so cool shit can happen. Creativity can happen. I mean, this doesn't happen, you know, I never really know what I'm going to say when I get up on the microphone. I never really know what I say when I'm going to start recording. And if I decide to share or speak, I may have ideas, but how things get projected is out of my jurisdiction to an extent. Anyway, that's enough philosophical mumbo jumbo. Those are some of the things that I'm thinking about. The trip, let's talk about the trip. the main focus of this trip, this documentary, this road recovery thing we shot was we got in an RV. It was me, this dude Kirk, who's entering into become a district governor for Rotary Club 6900 in Alpharetta, and my buddy Christian, who just graduated seminary to become an ordained minister, and then me, who just left his job that I've been working for the last year and a half at my family's warehouse. I just resigned from that position to focus full-time on shared space. And so we all got in an RV, and we wanted to capture how we're processing this next phase of our own growth or development, because there's just so much unknown for all of us. And so we wanted to really process and what we were going through and see a bunch of bison and cool shit in Montana, and just go on the road and just camp out. And not only was it awesome living in an RV and always waking up somewhere new. I mean, I got this on my wall back here, this letter that says, this vision that I wrote out is, you'll wake up somewhere new every day, traveling the world, rapping, interviewing, and performing, and you will take your mom to the Oscars. Shouts out to Mom. So I have this, I want that to happen, and it felt like a dream because it was happening, minus the Oscars. There's still more to shoot for, but like I was saying earlier, the real challenge for me is to stay present. That my head can be so focused on where I'm trying to go that it takes me out of the moment of where I actually am. And being around Kirk and Christian, and then once we got to Montana into the bunker, which was crazy, which I'll talk about in just a second. But once I got there around people, it made me realize how important it is for me to be engaged in the real world. I literally, it's not helpful for me to continue sitting here and reading books. I'm holding up to the camera if you're listening, but I'm, the Awareness book, Striking Thoughts with Bruce Lee, all these mystic books I have, Joseph Campbell, Hero's Journey. I spent, the last couple months before I hit the road, basically just sitting in my backyard, pontificating, meditating, and learning all this stuff from these books. And it's time for me to get real world experience, and this trip really proved that to me, that I've got to be out and involved. And I don't know what that's going to look like for me, because I don't want to do things the way I've done before. So it's almost like I'm entering this where every day it's like a new frontier of getting to know who I am, or who's showing up, or how I'm showing up on a daily basis. As much as I love being with myself and reflecting and contemplating the introspective natures of reality, it does me no good unless I'm acting outwardly. And I learned that at the bunker with all these guys in early recovery. We had the way that Dean set it up, and that's what we went and visited. That was like the climax of the trip, was making up to this bunker in Montana. And this bunker was developed, one of 48 different nuclear fallout shelters that were developed in the 80s by the Church Universal Triumphant, which is a religious organization that bought up all this land and holds their community out there in Montana, right next to Yellowstone. They have all this land. And Dean, our friend who we went and meet with, we went up there, to capture what he's doing as well as what we're doing. But we capture what he's doing is he got a bunch of guys in early recovery. And this is the second summer he's done it. He brings them to this fallout bunker, and they're renovating it and redesigning it and working on it. And they're doing programming where they're talking about steps, going to meetings, and getting sober. And they're also working on this project. And when I was there, when I got there, not only was the surroundings absolutely beautiful, but seeing the guys and being around people and feeling like I belonged was a sense I hadn't felt in so long, that it was the highlight of my trip. Just being able to wake up, go to the desk in the room where my laptop was, where I can work on my stuff. And then I literally would just swivel my chair around and see a guy hanging out, just sitting there, or passing through working, and everybody wanting to talk about God and spirituality and, recovery and just all these interesting things that I'm always want to talk about. And then seeing everybody around me everyone had a take on it, an opinion and an idea and experience. And it's something that I didn't realize I'd even missed. And it brought up things in me that I didn't even know I had. So like I got angry at points, I got frustrated, I got confused, all while all while also researching and studying the most I can about this religious organization, because I love weird shit like that. But like, so in 1 second I'm talking to guys and we're trying to make sense of who, what we believe in and whatnot, and like how bad addiction can be. And the next second I'm playing these tapes of Elizabeth Clare Prophet literally prophesizing the end of the world. And it's just, I'm in this nuclear fallout shelter. It was the shit. I fucking loved it. And the story is just extremely fascinating. One day I hope to be able to tell it. But Dean's kind of the master of that story. But essentially, Elizabeth Clare Prophet, she believed that she had attained enlightenment, that she had received a call from the ascended masters. And there's about 200 different ascended masters that she is referred to as such, as being like directly influenced to channel the energy of God, like Plato and some other people, but I can't name them. But she believed she was that conduit, that she was that embodiment of the living universe or the living God consciousness. So she would, that's what she preached. I don't want to go dig too deep in the details, because there's Wikipedia entries and there's tons of stuff that Dean knows that he can talk about the inner workings and the shenanigans that the group may or may not have gotten into. But one of the main tenets that she had preached was that in 1990, the world was going to end. There was going to be a nuclear holocaust. And so she raised about $250 million through her organization, and they built all these fallout shelters. And that's where we got to stay. And it was fucking dope. And if you're watching this on video, I'm sure I'll have some video to show y'all, but I definitely have video to show you, because I did not stop filming. I was just like, this is so cool. I hope to be able to tell this story one day, but for now, it'll just have to be what it is. So yeah, it was an awesome experience. It was getting to know Kirk, getting to know Christian, getting to know myself, getting to be part of the ride, yeah, I was nervous about getting home. I was afraid, like, I don't want to move backwards. I don't want to feel stagnant. I don't want to feel like I'm just I got to continue taking action. One of the things about this month is I've kind of been on everybody else's projects and getting my shared space stuff in, remotely, and doing everything from my laptop. But daily decision making was not mine, essentially. I did the stuff I knew I needed to do for shared space, and the stuff I needed to do with sponsees and needed to do for my, whatever video or art I could come up with. But now it's like back to Grind Time USA of like, this is your show, and how are you going to move forward doing it, And Sam had a really interesting idea because of what's going on with shared space, because I'm stepping into this area that I've been out of for the last 2 years. I'm stepping back into it. There's a lot of unknown and there's a lot of known. There's a lot of things I've done in the past I don't want to repeat. And there's things I don't know about moving forward of being an entrepreneur or basically managing people. I've got an engineer who's coding, I got a designer who's designing, and I got a project manager, and I got investors, and I got people that are interested on like marketing, selling, finding places to present this software, It's a whole area of the field I have not broached yet. So there's a lot of unknown there. And Sam's idea is that I could use this platform to kind of share my experience being a 32-year-old dude with no college degree, no diploma, no nothing except a head full of ideas and a willingness to write it out and work it out. And in hopes of creating some sort of sustainable social environment for expressing and connecting with people on an authentic way, developing and cultivating real connections and real, hopefully, understanding on who we are, as individuals. And like I said, I get so airy into my mind of what things could be, it takes me out of what's actually happening, And in my mind, I see this fully functioning platform for self-discovery that works like a podcast for Snapchatters, all about the stuff you're interested in and all about authenticity and connecting with people who are pursuing these things and realizing these things for themselves, and starting groups and talking about how to take the steps, actionable steps towards realizing their potential, and all these, just the stuff we're not seeing online, but like the inner experience, the humaning that we go through on a day-to-day basis, like really opening up that, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind our eyes that I think is extremely valuable to bring to awareness so we can connect with others, regardless of whatever ethnicity or religious ideology or whatever. It's like we're all human being, and like to create a software that provides a fun and engaging way to do that, that's what I'm aiming for. But that's way down the line, right? Like that's like an Amazon marketplace for people who are, rating each other based on how helpful we're being towards our own paths of self-discovery. Like that's way down the line. I have to look at what we actually have. And what we actually have is a functional software that gives us the ability to share as if we're in a meeting anytime throughout the day. And to take that and market that and lean into the practical application of that, given what I know of our environment and given what I know about recovery and the industry itself, I have to pick that lane. I don't have to do anything, but it seems to me the closer I can get to something that can work right away for a niche group of people and could be effective out the box is what I need to lean into. And so it's shared space, IOPs, recovery centers, sober livings, making it possible to be able to share as if you're in a meeting anytime throughout the day and listen to the people in your network as they're sharing what they're feeling and thinking throughout the day. The thing I wish I had when I got sober, really. The thing I wish I had when I could check in with my sponsees without having to pick up the phone and call. I can literally stay up to date with how they're processing through life, the challenges and the successes they experience. I want to be able to do it in a very simple, just go one place and be able to listen or read and then be able to share my experience back with them. Because it's that, and that can be effective for anyone in a recovery program, and anybody who wants to develop a community that's seeking to better or bring to awareness the things that have caused us pain in the past. So, yeah, that's what I have to lean into that. I need to forget all the future, like the vision that I've been focused on for this long time, and just go back to what it is we actually have and how it can actually apply to where we're at today. So that's my shared space spiel. Man, this thing goes all over the place. Yeah, I said there was going to be music. There will be some music. I was going to put Geralt on, fucking Patrick's Ogre, but I don't want to. Sorry, Patrick. We'll have to have a Fizzband and Geralt episode. I think it'll work better with both of us together. Self will run some bullshit into the imaginative spectrum of non-existence. I don't know what that means, but it sounded right. We'll hit it with Geralt and Fizzband in the future. But yeah, I don't know if there's much else to report. It's been a wild journey this last month. I haven't felt, I've been on everyone else's time. I helped Melissa move to Portland. I helped Christian and participated in this documentary, this Road to Recovery that's going to be coming out. All the while doing what I do remotely with shared space. And now it's like back in town, and it's time to just keep doing it, I guess. But do it on, what am I doing? And figure that out and do that, right? And I want to share that experience with everyone who's listening and everyone who's watching. So I just think it could be fun. Like let's fucking fumble through this thing and figure it out as we move forward. So yeah, that's been the monologue. I just got a message from my engineer here. Let's see. All right. Nice. Update from David, the engineer. We've been having issues with updating the first version of Shared Space, but he just said it's running again, and I can test and use it, and we can start testing. I got people in a Facebook group to test the software. If anybody listening wants to join, hit me up. You can help me test the first iteration of this software. But Yeah, that's fucking awesome news. That makes me so happy to read that. I don't know how to inspire. I don't know how to motivate people. You know, I don't know how to, like, there's work I want to get done. I don't know how. I don't know how to. I'm literally learning how to. I don't know. How do you manage people? And I got some ideas now in the future. Like, apparently, I have to start setting timelines, deadlines. You have to actually set goals on paper for people to see so they know what they're doing. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought you'd have to actually have a direction for people to go? So yeah, I'm gonna get better at doing this stuff, and I'll share it with you guys. I want to go into some music. Thanks so much for listening. It feels so good to be back. Like I said before, we're gonna have guests on the show. If you've got a dream, if you're working your own boss, or you're trying to be your own boss, and you want to share your experience, the challenges, the successes, or if you don't know what those things are and you want to get involved, please hit me up. Be happy to talk, happy to listen, happy to do what I can to help. And yeah, let's keep it going. This playlist that we've got coming up. Let me go here. Let me take a little gander at this. So we're gonna hear some tunes. These are some of the tunes I've gathered from my journeys this last month. You know, and I don't think there's anything better than starting with a jam that kind of represents what we've been through. You know, we were on the highways, we were over the mountains, we were through the foliage and the forestry. We were, and I'm saying all this weird stuff because the name of the song, that's pretty, yeah. I didn't need to do any of that. Something's gotta give. Anyway. This song I want to start with because it's dope. That's it. It's Ova Da Wudz by Outkast.